A man's ghost is hunting his wife and children. Don't miss out. Will the psychics uncover the secret of a terrifying ritual? And what is the widow really hiding? You are watching Psychic Investigations, a channel of true and astonishing stories. Here, people who call themselves clairvoyants investigate incredible mystical anomalies and intricate criminal cases. Elena lives in a small town in southern Ukraine. She is a mother of 2 daughters and works as a kindergarten teacher. The woman reached out to our program because she is convinced that the ghost of her beloved husband, Andriy, who died a few years ago, is about to kill her.
He strangles me.
Elena's 10-year-old daughter, Victoria, also sees the ghost in their apartment.
I feel like someone walks behind me.
The girl even started stuttering because of the shock.
I heard the door open.
The man died in an accident. At the time of the tragedy, Elena was pregnant with their 2nd daughter. It's hard to even imagine what the woman went through. And then, right after the funeral, real horror began in the apartment.
I woke up to creaks and knocks on the door. I answered it, but there was no one there. And then my husband's portrait fell. You see, it couldn't be a draft.
The woman grabbed her older daughter by the hand in fear and ran out of the apartment.
And there was this step. I tripped over it.
Pregnant Elena rolled down the stairs and hit her head on the window in the stairwell.
God forbid anyone to experience something like this.
Elena could have lost her child and her life. Fortunately, everything turned out fine. However, since then, she has constantly been in danger. Elena is convinced that her late husband is taking revenge on her because she did not save him from death, although she could have. A psychic warned her about the danger.
You were filming the show, and I saw Hayal Alekperov. I asked him for help, and he predicted that I would soon have a child and that my spouse, his death would be near a tree.
As it turned out, Hayal Alekperov advised Elena to save her husband from inevitable death and told her exactly what needed to be done.
He gave me candles and advice which I just didn't use because it slipped my mind.
A year later, Elena indeed became pregnant, and soon after, her husband died a terrible death.
Exactly a year later, not a day earlier, not a day later. He really died near a tree. He crashed. I blame myself for this.
The thought that her late husband might take her little daughters to the other side drives Elena insane.
I need help from the psychics.
We contacted Hayal Alekperov.
I remember this woman. What you're describing is probably her 2nd husband's death. I warned her this could happen. But at the time she contacted me, he was alive, while her 1st husband had burned to death in her apartment.
We urgently contacted Elena, and she revealed something truly shocking. It turned out that she had already buried 2 husbands, both named Andriy. The first, the father of her eldest daughter, burned alive in their apartment under very mysterious circumstances. A new heater in the living room somehow caught fire, and the man couldn't escape.
This is terrible. Just terrible.
Both men died very young and in very terrible ways. This is not a coincidence, but a pattern. If the spirit of her late husband wanted to kill Elena, he would have done it long ago, as it's been 4 years since he died. It seems the spirit resorted to violence to scare her, so she would call us for help. He wants to stop the thing that took his life.
Hayal Alekperov, along with his colleague Yaroslava Fedorova, set out to investigate. On the way to Elena's, they work with the photos.
My sacred book says, skulls are a sign, don't miss it. Death is hidden at the bottom.
At the bottom of what?
I don't know. But I had a strange vision. A grave, next to which stood this woman, Elena, and several men surrounding her. She held a transparent vessel with something red inside, like blood. She took a sip, then kissed the men one by one, and they fell dead.
It looks very much like some kind of ritual.
It feels like Elena is hiding from us something very important.
I had a dream last night. I saw a dead young man, and suddenly he opened his eyes and said with difficulty, "It's all Svetlana's fault."
We need to find out from Elena if there is someone with that name in her circle.
What is this?
Yaroslava dropped her beads or something she uses for work. It made me a little wary.
There's dead energy here. Sorry, I can't leave it here. Do you have a piece of cloth or something?
Yes,
It feels like there is a spirit present somewhere near us.
Thank you.
I've been waiting for you. I'm scared.
Elena, let me assure you that your second husband's spirit doesn't wish you harm. It seems he tried to provoke you to seek help to stop the force that took his life.
For some reason, I see 3 letters. A.
Andriy was my first husband, and my second husband was also Andriy.
And who's the third A?
Can we go up to your apartment to work?
Yes, please.
Olena's daughters and mother are already waiting for the psychics in the apartment.
Hello? What are your names?
Victoria. Maria.
I got a vision of Maria standing with one foot in the grave. At that time, I didn't yet understand how bad things really were.
The girl's energy was indeed so weak, as if she was on the edge.
Olena's elder daughter stutters because she feels something otherworldly nearby. But is her younger sister really a step away from death?
For some reason, I constantly feel a cold draft from that part of the apartment.
There's a smell of death here, and something is burning my back. It's scorching.
I see what she means.
Wait, the ring was taken off a dead man.
Is this the wedding ring of your deceased husband?
Yes, the one who burned.
Elena says she chose this wedding ring for her first husband before the wedding, and now it is the only thing that reminds her of him.
You can't keep such things at home.
Are Olena's loved ones doomed to die because she keeps her first husband's wedding ring at home?
My jinns say that this ring from the dead man is pulling not men but the child to the other world, because children's energy is the most vulnerable. Your younger daughter is in serious danger. Wait. I was drawn here by this man from the photo.
This is the father of my second daughter, Maria.
He came to you in a dream and warned that his daughter was in danger.
Yes, I had such a dream. He came and said, "I'm here for Maria." And literally the next day, she fell asleep at the kindergarten and did not wake up for more than a day.
The mother called an ambulance. The girl was urgently taken to intensive care.
She was on the brink of death, and they told me to give up on her. She had oxygen deprivation of the brain. They said that if there was no blood flow to the brain, she would end up in a vegetative state.
But I hear a voice. A woman brought you good news.
I was told she had regained consciousness.
You must get rid of this ring immediately.
Leave it at a church.
Yes, I'll dispose of it.
We checked Olena's apartment, but it was all clean. There were a few options left. Either someone from the world of the dead was taking her men, or it was some kind of curse. There is a woman who envied your relationship with a certain man. She thought it was an unfair relationship, and she shouted at you, "I will make sure you have nothing and no one."
The woman is older than you. She's blonde, and there's a dark-haired man between you.
Another A.
Andriy, we simply dated. My first love.
It's hard to believe, But in this woman's life, besides the two husbands named Andriy, there was another man with the same name, Olena's first love.
And who is the woman I described?
There was a woman who loved him and wanted him to be with her.
Elena did not know until the end that this woman was his wife, and Andriy was simply cheating on the poor woman.
How many years is that woman older than you?
5. This is Svetlana.
It's the name from your vision.
It's all Svetlana's fault.
So Svetlana is Olena's rival. Is it her to blame for all the misfortunes?
She came to me and said, "I will make sure you are never with anyone, never."
Here we are, a curse of loneliness. We just need to find this Svetlana.
Where does she live?
On the way to Svetlana's, Elena admits that 15 years ago, there was even a fight between her and the other woman.
There was indeed a fight, yes. She pulled my hair.
As soon as the psychics reach their destination, a woman comes out of the building.
Here is Svetlana.
Svetlana, hello. We came to see you.
What do you want?
All my husbands die.
What does that have to do with me?
After your words, after your curse, when you told me I would never be with anyone,
How could he date you and live with me?
you should have dealt with him instead of cursing me.
In fact, I see that the man you cursed Elena over was deceiving you too, Svetlana. He took advantage of the job and home you provided him. And he eventually dumped both of you.
But I didn't curse you.
Well, I had to defend myself.
Did you seek help from magicians or sorceress?
Never in my life.
Draw a card. No, you're innocent.
It was probably, just emotions when two rivals are sorting things out.
The curse sent by this woman couldn't have had the power to cause deaths. Svetlana said those words in the heat of the moment. They didn't carry a deadly intent.
So if Svetlana's not responsible for the deaths of Olena's husbands, then who was the young man in your vision talking about?
Oh my God. It's the second rosary that broke today.
Yaroslava, these are skulls. Skulls are a sign, don't miss it.
Look, one rosary broke there and another one broke here. I think we need to go back there.
There was indeed a deathly energy near Olena's home. We missed something important.
We urgently return to the place where the clairvoyant's first rosary broke earlier today.
All this time, I had the feeling that Elena was hiding something from us. And it turned out I was right.
The spirit of a deceased person presents here.
We need to try to contact the spirit.
We need wine and a glass for this. It feels like he's walking around here but can't approach us.
It's a young man's soul.
What's going on? The wine bottles seemed to be pushed by someone, and then we saw a kitten that came right up to Elena.
The deceased man's spirit is in the kitten. He wants to tell us something. He says, Elena knows everything. She is to blame for everything.
I don't know.
It's what the spirit says. You knew him. He was close to you.
Some kind of poison is spreading through his body.
It's Ihor. We were friends when we were young. We went to the same school, but I was a little older. But I liked him very much, and Ihor liked me.
It's hard to believe, but this young man, who was in love with Elena, also died 20 years ago, right in this building.
We entered and he felt unwell. His heart stopped and he died of an overdose.
The boy decided to try drugs. A teenage experiment ended tragically. Ihor died right in front of his friends.
He's a suicide because he took the drugs himself. That's why his spirit is bound to this place.
I missed him terribly.
It's shocking. Death takes everyone who has feelings for Elena. But why did this particular young man, with whom it all started, contact the psychics?
The spirit says he's innocent and he's also a victim. And he adds that you were there together. Where was it?
I don't know.
He's showing me a grave and a full moon. He says he was there with you and some other people.
Once when we were kids, we went for a walk and took some wine. We didn't have anything to pour it into. So the guy suggested taking a jar from a grave.
And you took a jar from the grave.
Yes. And we poured the wine into it and drank it.
Did you drink it too?
Yes.
Did Ihor drink it?
Everyone drank it, yes.
Hayal, find the cause at the bottom, remember?
I had a strange vision. She held a transparent vessel with something red inside, like blood. She took a sip, then kissed the men one by one, and they fell dead.
Of all who drank that wine, some died, some hanged themselves, and some fell out of windows. And I lose my husbands.
But why did everyone who drank the wine from that ill-fated vessel die? But Elena is still alive? And how are her husbands connected to all this? Why did they die?
I beg you, this needs to be stopped.
We need to go to that cemetery.
And find the grave from which you took the jar.
I'll show you. It happened in this cemetery. I was the only girl in the party, and the rest were boys, about 8 people. There were no other girls with us. But I didn't see who found the jar or from where it was taken.
I see a vision of a white cross.
Hayal, I think it's here. So, this is Svetlana. This is who we were looking for.
Everyone is scared. Could this really be the same Svetlana, responsible for the deaths of Olena's husbands? But how could that be?
The woman buried here didn't take your husbands to the other world. She's not responsible for their deaths.
A ritual was performed on this grave. It wasn't just a jar. A woman came here and performed some kind of ritual.
And the woman is not in the grave. She lives.
But who is it? What ritual did she perform? And how did it affect those who drank the wine from the jar taken from this grave?
It appears that it was a ritual to transfer widowhood to the deceased. To do it, you need to go to a cemetery and find the grave of a woman with the same name as yours. A special spell is recited on the grave, and an offering consisting of certain items is left. Among them is always a vessel with wine. Elena and the boys took it from the cemetery, and along with this vessel, she took on the transferred widowhood.
It seems that the wine from the ritual remained at the bottom of the vessel. The boys who drank it suffered, and as the only female in the company, you took on the widowhood.
This is your mistake, yours and of those people who were with you.
I understand why the spirit of Olena's second husband, who died in an accident, wanted us to come and stop the widowhood. Because he is primarily concerned about their daughters, Maria and Victoria. The girls will inherit their mother's fate, and with it, the widowhood.
It turns out that shortly before his death, Andriy promised Elena that he would do everything to ensure their daughter's safety.
How can I atone for such guilt? What do I need to do?
We need to perform a ritual. Elena took on the widowhood transferred to the buried woman. And what is widowhood? It's certain encoded information that is imposed on a woman's karma. We needed to seal the information in Olena's headscarf and burn it. This way, the widowhood program would be neutralized. Close your eyes and leave, and don't look back. Never return to this cemetery again.
Thank you with all my heart.
A year after the investigation, we called Elena.
Elena, hello.
Hello, Yaroslava. I'm very glad to see you. I got married. I love this man very much. We'll have a baby soon. I'm pregnant.
My congratulations.
You helped me greatly, and I know that things will get better.
What an incredible story. If it impressed you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Many more amazing stories are coming up.